Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside City Hall. In this episode, we focus on the United Way of the Coastal Bend, which helps more than 65 nonprofits in our community. For the past 30 years, city employees have personally participated in United Way's annual campaign, giving a portion of their paycheck to help others. By working together with the United Way of the Coastal Bend, city employees have the opportunity to personally give back and create a thriving community. Thank you for coming to City Hall and being here with us as we talk more about the United Way campaign. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Stephanie Jordan, and I am the president and CEO of United Way of the Coastal Bend.
And I'm Ray Flores. I'm the Assistant Director for Solid Waste Services here.
So we know why Stephanie's here because we're going to talk about United Way. So Ray, how did you walk into this room?
Well, this year I was the chairman of the partnership that we have with United Way on their campaign, their yearly campaign. So that's how I am here. And it's been a great opportunity. I mean, a whole great ride going through the whole thing. So
Wonderful. How long have you been with the city?
a little over 5 years.
Okay, great. And Stephanie, you've been with United Way?
I've been with United Way since 2017.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, in 2017, we all know that a lot happened in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
A lot we had to take care of. And I know one of the nonprofit organizations that was very involved with, since you were there in 2017, was United Way. So tell me about how how United Way has helped people since you've been here.
Well, in 2017 was my first year, and that was when Hurricane Harvey hit. So I went in with high hopes and expectations, and things went very well. We got a lot of support from the business community and the local community. But my first big campaign was the city campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. I mean, it went really, really well. But little did I know that in 8 years, it would more than double.
Yeah.
And it's just been a fantastic relationship that we've had with the city. We've had a lot of support. And, everyone's just really stepped up.
That's wonderful. And we've also seen that the leadership does choose different folks to participate. And Ray, you tell us a little bit about your story, how you were chosen.
So first, my initial thought process was, oh my God, like I was not expecting to get selected.
Surprise!
I was newly a part of the leadership team.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just been appointed assistant director. And I get the call from the city manager saying, hey, we want you to go move forward with this campaign. We think you're going to be a great fit. And it did. It worked out great for me. I was able to network and meet all of the other leaders because being new, I mean, I'd worked with others before, other leaders within the city, but I hadn't worked with everybody. So this was a great opportunity to go in, learn about everybody, and then still be able to produce for the partnership that we have for the United Way.
What is the lessons that you've learned from that big initial announcement to the end of the campaign? What would you say about United Way that was new to you or an aha moment, if you will?
With the United Way, I mean, every day was an aha moment, really. I mean,
Sorry.
I kind of knew, no, I kind of knew, the gist of United Way and how they help our community and everything, but I didn't know the magnitude of it. I didn't know every detail, the different organizations that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I was leaving with, I didn't know that. That's good to know. So every day I was learning something new.
And I bet even organizations you didn't know we have.
Yeah, exactly.
And the impact that has for
Mhm.
many of our folks.
Yeah.
For United Way, when we look at the funding, obviously that is the key component of where would you like your monies to go? And there is a huge selection within our community of who United Way assists and helps with families to individuals. When we look at our funding, we can pick what we want. How does that work for you?
So that's the beauty of United Way is we understand that philanthropy is a very personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
So we want people to support what's important to them, what their heart is pointing to. We have more than 60 nonprofits that are in the United Way family. And United Way, the important thing is a lot of people, they've heard of the United Way name, but they don't realize that all United Ways are locally run. So everything that we raise, we say over and over again, what's raised here stays here. We cover 10 counties. So we have some folks who live in Corpus Christi that may be originally from Beeville or Falfurrias or Refugio, and we have organizations that we support in those communities too. You can give to those organizations. There's a whole big list. Or you could just give to the Community Investment Fund. And the Community Investment Fund is money that is pooled, and then they apply for that money out of the Community Investment Fund, and that goes to very specific programs, as you pointed out, that go to children or education or healthcare or mental health care, crime victims assistance. So you can pick whichever is the most important to you, and we encourage people to do that.
Wonderful. And from a city perspective, when you were looking to do this fundraising, was there something that you were looking at particularly that you were hoping people would understand or employees would understand?
So originally, when we developed our team, we brought everybody in. We wanted a voice from every department. So we had selected, a few from every department. That way everybody had their turn to say, ideas coming in. What can we do better? The campaign itself, through the history with the city, had just been progressively getting better. It's always, a little bit more this year. And that's what we wanted to do. How can we maintain that upward trend of the donation amount that we're doing? And one of the things we wanted to do was build that team. We wanted our voice heard through everywhere and make sure that everybody had a chance to listen to the different things that we were partnering up with United Way, and the different organizations were there. Because like I said earlier, there was tons of organizations that I was like, man, I didn't even know we had something like that. So I know if I didn't know, others didn't either. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get that message out there so that there are other organizations that can help with the United Way.
I would think too that you probably learned a lot about it, the employees here, that you didn't even realize their connection to a nonprofit.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody knows somebody that's going through something. And that's really the connection that we wanted to bring forward with all the different organizations. There's always going to be somebody, needing some help. How can we help out? And what you learn is, deep down, people want to help, and they might just not know how to start or where to go to. Yeah. And having this partnership with United Way, that was the great avenue that we had, that we can guide them to and give them a little perspective on what things we can donate to and help.
It's our chance to personalize where we want our monies to go.
Yeah.
Coming in here each and every day to do our job, but now we can help others in the process.
And then having that feeling too of helping, that accomplishment, like, that you're making a difference, especially within the community. That speaks volumes within our employees here and staff.
It does. And while the monies we felt we've earned and we want to give, it's also now your responsibility and your staff's responsibility to make sure that money stays local and stays within the local programs. And that's been significant, has it not, from the city employees here?
It has been. Yeah. It has been significant. And, we believe in complete transparency. If someone were to come up to me and say, how much money did you give to education or, youth opportunity or, financial stability, I could say, well, I've got the 5 years, 6 years history on our website. It's no secret. We're very upfront about, how much we raise and where it goes to and who it supports. And, it's really interesting because the city campaign, you say you learn a lot from us, but a lot of times city employees give us a perspective too. I remember one year I was speaking at a firehouse and I overheard one firefighter say to a paramedic, man, some people in this community are just one car wreck away from their lives being ruined. And I stopped what I was doing and I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, think about it. You have liability insurance on your car like you're required to do, but you're paid by the hour. You're just making it. And then all of a sudden you lose your car. You have no way to get to work. You have no way to work and you're paid hourly. Maybe you don't have health insurance. So it's kind of like the simplest thing that happens to people. Car accidents, they just happen.
Yeah. Right.
But how that could completely change someone's life. And I love it when people make those comments. You had said, there are people in the city that we don't even know have gotten assistance and have gotten help. And you never know when you're going to go into one of those meetings where someone had a child who was sick or someone's sister was in an abusive relationship or someone needed some, counseling or all those things, or people who grew up at the Boys and Girls Club or with the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts. Those are all funded partners of ours.
Yeah.
And so we learn a lot from you too. So it goes both ways.
It does. And I think the neat thing with that as well is that while the employees are getting to know each other and where they're giving and how is this money, because it draws that conversation. I think when we start getting the form and, oh, what do you like? And you get to know somebody a little bit better and why they're choosing their why.
Yeah.
What's
What's
their
your
why?
why?
Yeah,
Right.
what's your why? And so with that, there is also this culture within the city that we want to give back to the city we
Yeah.
support. So how has that shaped you in being a leader in this and seeing that happen?
It's great. I mean, coming in with the city, I mean, just the atmosphere, the opportunities that it has. And you get to realize that all these employees, we come to work, everybody does their functions to make the city run. And not only do we run the city, we actually turn around then and still donate because we feel the importance of our city and our community to make that investment in everybody, to help others out. So it's a great culture working within the city, and everybody does truly want to help.
It's that it's the brotherhood that you see. It's just take care of whom you need to take care of.
Yeah.
And if you know better, you do better.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
exactly what I think we've seen, as you said, with the growth within the donations, with
Right.
and employee involvement and commitment.
Mhm.
I think it's a huge. I mean, you can look at the dollar sign all you want, but it's the empathy that you have
Right.
that continues to grow and expand. And you want to see that. You hire good people, and
Yeah.
with hiring good people, they're going to give back. And
Yeah.
I think United Way has seen that too.
Yeah, more than 1,400 city employees donated to the campaign. Everything from $52 a year to more than $2,000 a year. It's been no small thing. That's a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, we have communities within our area that don't have a population of 1,400, let alone
Right.
1,400 from the same place of employment. It's impressive. It really is.
So would you say that the city is a great example that you tell others?
We do, actually.
Awesome.
We brag about you because not that we want to introduce, competition between cities, but we do tell other cities, Corpus does a really, really good campaign. And it's really neat that that every year it's a different department, because every department, and we get to know the different departments too.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot of work, right? Go ahead.
It-
You can admit it. It
It's
was a lot of work.
But he also
But
did a great
So
job.
much,
so,
yes, but so much fun.
Yeah.
It is.
So much fun. I mean, we're practically like sending each other Christmas cards by now. But we spend a lot of time, and it is a lot of work, but the payoff is just incredible. I mean, it really is just incredible.
Even though an employee may not see it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And
And
that,
the
and that's
stories to tell are there.
Right. And that's one of the things that we did too this year. I wanted to not only meet with all the employees, get out in front of them, but we decided, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to hear it firsthand? Bring the organizations to the city so we can have our little tailgate meetings and everything, and that they can hear it firsthand. Because I remember coming to one of the meetings we had in our department, and there was a gentleman that came that it was with the after school programs and everything. I was like, man, I didn't know. Like, everybody was, after hearing somebody,
Yep.
like, let me change where my money's
Right.
going to go to,
Yeah.
Right.
because they know that it stays locally. So it was great all around.
No, and again, we don't know what the year to year is going to change. I mean, last year's donation going to a particular nonprofit could
Right.
now change this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's the luxury of the United Way.
Yes.
You get to pick where it
Yeah. Knowing
impacts
that
you most.
that your donations stay here and
Yes.
going to an
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
feature to you.
What is your proudest moment of the campaign so far?
Man.
Besides being here with us
Yeah.
inside City Hall.
Besides making it through.
I think, yeah. I think besides that, though, I think my little proud moment that I had was just right before we actually surpassed our goal. Because the donations were coming in and communicating back and forth with Stephanie and Lindsay and Christy. We kept seeing like a flood of donations come in, and then a little more and then a little more. And at first, with the goal being set pretty high, we didn't know if we were going to make it, but we were going to try to push. We were going to work hard to make sure that we met that goal. And there was just that moment that, they kept flooding in. I was like, man, we're actually going to do it. We're going to pass it. It came down to the wire, but once I saw that we were so close, I was like, there's no way we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to pass it. And that was my proud moment.
Wonderful.
So I kept back and forth with Stephanie. Hey, where are we? Where are we now? Where are we now? So it was a good experience.
And so tell me what that means for you as a leader to meet a goal.
Oh, it's great. I mean, meeting such high standards and goals that you set, it's a great accomplishment that you feel for yourself. But all that can't be done without the team that we had put together. It's not just one person in the leadership. It's the team that you mold and group together that gets you across that finish line. And then I can't thank them enough either.
And then you see people in a different perception as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's a connection now with everyone that you were able to build with. So,
Exactly.
and that connection goes back to the United Way. So,
You know, I never cease to be surprised at kind of the random act of kindnesses. I mean, sometimes, you know, we had a situation where we're raising money and someone who had been affected by the same thing we're raising money for decided, well, someone helped me, I'm going to pay it forward. And those kindnesses are just, and they come along just when I think, oh, what am I doing? I'm having such a bad day. Someone calls and they're like, oh, we just decided to take up a collection of crayons or toothbrushes or whatever. And they just really step up. And the city is just, they just continue to step up.
Yeah.
And having gone through all these different departments and meeting all these different people, there's just so many good people in this community who want everyone to do better, who want everyone to succeed. And we get to witness that year after year. And it's an amazing thing.
one of the things too is that we were asked here what could $5 or $10 mean, but just alone $1 makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
An extra $1.
So, if everyone who gave last year, 1,358 people who were employed by the city donated all different amounts, all based on their own budget and, what they wanted to do. And if everybody who gave last year just gave one more dollar a paycheck a year, that would total $32,000 extra.
Wow.
Above. And I think, I don't know how much money you guys have, but I think $32,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
And
any nonprofit would say, let me have that, please.
Yes.
And the beauty of our nonprofits is they all work together too. So it's not no one is an island. I mean, you have people who are in shelters who work with other organizations to clothe people and feed people and get them the counseling they need, the medical care that they deserve. So that's really nice too, how connected our funded partners are.
Well, that's a great example of what you talked about, the firehouse story. One incident is not just one organization helping. You're going to need the assistance of so many others
Right.
to get to the next step.
Right. And a lot of times it's temporary. Somebody just needs, I think all of us in our lives at some point just need a little bit of whatever that is, maybe a little bit help with our utilities, like in August.
Right.
Who doesn't get sticker shock when you get your electric bill, right? It's hot.
Right.
School supplies, kids need school supplies. Something just the simplest thing really can make a big difference in someone's life.
Oh, and I've seen that a number of times. You and I have worked together on school supplies, and for a family of 3, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
When you think of the first day of school and making sure your child has everything that they need as they walk in through the first day. And it's a lot of sacrifices that you have to take. And just again, an extra $5 could help that child get the markers that they need, plus the binder that they need. And then, there's a huge difference that makes with just a few dollars.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you're able to stretch it where you need.
It all counts. It all counts.
It does.
Yes, it does. Now, as we move forward into the next year's campaign, what advice would you provide to the next leader? What knowledge of information would you pass on?
Outreach. Get as many times as you can in front of all the departments. Get that voice out there. Get the message out there. Because, like I said, not everybody's going to know the magnitude that the United Way helps. All the different organizations. There was tons of the meetings that we set up where you could see it on all the employees' faces. They're like, oh man, like I did not know that they helped that much. And, just as simple as one of the meetings we went to, somebody's house burned down, and that could happen to anybody. It could happen to you, me, at any time. So like she mentioned, Stephanie was talking about, I mean, everybody needs help sometime, and you never know when you're going to need it. So, and that's the look that everybody had after the meetings. They're like, man, I didn't think of it that way. I hadn't put it into perspective like that, but everybody is. I mean, you can be a day away from a tragedy, and then you're the one needing help. So I think that resonated with everybody, and that's what made them want to donate. So my thing that I would pass on to them would be outreach, get connected, get everybody involved, as many people as you can, because the more we have, I mean, the stronger the community is going to be.
Right. And you said 60 organizations that we have within.
I believe we're up to 66. We just added some new ones again this year too. So
goodness.
Yeah. So I think we're up to 65 or 66. Yeah.
Wonderful. So we essentially have 65 potential nonprofits we can choose from to give.
Yes, you could choose from those, or you can choose the community investment fund, which is the money that's pooled. One thing I wanted to say about these organizations, someone just doesn't write us a letter and we say, okay, they have to show us too how well they spend their money and what their goals are and how they achieve their goals. They have to prove that to us before they could be part of our list of funded partners. So we're very careful because we know it's not United Way's money. It's Ray's money, and we want to make sure that it's invested properly and fairly and accurately, and the organizations are doing what they want to do.
So for a city employee, when we know that we're giving through our paycheck, what is it that when is it that the gift is given to the nonprofit? Is it throughout the year, whenever they need it?
So technically it's throughout the year. So there's a little bit of a formula. So we can't give anybody money until we've gotten the money. So we collect the money and then we start paying out 6 months after we've collected it. So it's like a cycle, because we can't give money that we don't have, and we spend all of our money so on these organizations. So it takes a little while for that to cycle through. That's very mathematical, but they
that's when you get the spreadsheet out nice and clean
and
figure out what's coming in.
Figure out what's coming in. And there's always a certain amount that we aren't able to collect because in any organization, there are people who may have donated to United Way and then they get a job at another company, and then you have new people. So it's always a little bit of a moving object.
Right.
But so
at the end of the day, we're helping somebody.
You are.
And whether it's a family or one person, at the end of the day, it's helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen improvement in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So is there a favorite story you have with the city and our giving? Besides working with Ray.
So besides working with Ray. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with Ray. I really enjoyed working with the library folks. I like going out and speaking to groups. Every once in a while, you'll be in a meeting with a group of, 50 or 60 or 70 people. And someone will say, oh yeah, I was once in that situation. And everyone's like,
how did that
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you were in?
How did that happen?
Situation?
You never talked about it, right?
Or you hear a story about something that happens in the community, and there was a woman who called me, and there was a little boy who had been in a very bad abusive household, and they had finally been able to get him away from his situation with another relative who he'd never met, because this relative had to sever ties with this member of the family. And he was switching schools, and he was 13. And he'd never had new school supplies, ever. Wow. And he just wanted to go to school where nobody knew him, nobody knew where he'd come from or whatever, and he just wanted to be like every other kid. So I'm like in my office, someone comes into my office and I'm like, okay, we'll see what we can get grants. And then bam, you're speaking in front of a group of 50 people and people are like, so tell me a success story. And you're like, well,
Right.
Yeah.
there is a little boy who just wants his own new folder and new spiral. And you think about how small of a deal that is to an adult, but how many of us remember that first day of school
Yep.
where you want to fit in. And those things, maybe they're insignificant financially, they're enormously significant to a 13-year-old.
Mhm.
So those kinds of stories, people who escaped abusive relationships who are now, own their own home and their children are great.
Yeah.
A young woman dropped out of school because she had all of the answers and she'd met a boy and he was the love of her life and they were going to live forever together and be married. And things didn't work out so well. And then she couldn't get a job. So she decides to go back to school, even though she hated school, and gets her GED and then decides she finds her calling in all things as a special ed teacher. So
Beautiful.
the school that she dropped out of because she knew too much to be there is exactly what she went back
Oh,
to
wow.
Oh, wow.
to teach. And she was unbelievable. She was just so great. And she was proud of what she accomplished. And she just needed a little bit of help from one of our literacy groups. And so, she wasn't asking for, she just needed a little bit of help so that she could get over that hump. And sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I think, okay, let's just teach someone to read or put a meal on a table or give someone help with their homework or.
Yeah.
I think that's the most interesting thing about United Way is that when you get your form, you're just, oh my gosh, there's so many
It's
people.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here who need our help, but where do I fit in? And I think that's where, as you said, meeting with everyone.
That's where the meetings came. I mean,
Yeah.
it played perfectly with everybody. Got to understand what every organization did. We had a kickoff event that we had tables all around the gymnasium that we have here. And it gave the opportunity to the employees to be able just to kind of walk around and say, oh, okay, well, what does your organization do for, to help people in need and everything. So it was a great learning experience. I mean, there's so much the United Way helps with. I mean, like I said, I was learning something new every day. I did not know all of that.
Well, and a shout out to the water department. One year we have these volunteer groups sometimes, and the water department went and read, and they have their own book.
Oh yeah,
Don't they have their own
they
book?
do.
And
Yes.
the character's
Mhm.
name is Drop.
Drop.
Drop is the superhero, like
Okay.
and they went and they read to the kids. They had so much fun, and
Yep.
they didn't. A lot of people, they don't know, what all these organizations do.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh God, that was so much fun. And now every time I live over in Everhart and Holly, every time I drive by the water department, I think, oh, I wonder how Drop's doing.
Well, Drop is doing well, and I think
Clever.
yes, it is very clever. And Ray, I just want to thank you so much for taking the leadership on with the city
you.
and
It's a great
sharing your thoughts about what you've learned
Yeah.
and the experiences you've had. And so, again, one quick advice that you would give to the next person coming in, or to any employee of those
Any employee.
considering. Besides, well, it does stay local. We
Yeah,
get that.
it does stay local. My advice to them is just ask as many questions as you can. Get the answers that you're looking for, because I guarantee the United Way has the answers.
Yes.
They have somebody in mind that can help out. And to, the new chairman coming, just be ready to learn as much as you can. It's a great opportunity and a great experience. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yep. I bet
Thanks.
the vulnerability that you get from learning about
Yeah.
people, the humbleness that comes with it,
Yeah.
and empathy. But again, just this chance to connect,
Yeah.
I think is a huge thing, and with greater people within the city. So thank you both for being here.
Thank
Stephanie,
you.
any last words that you like to say to city employees?
No,
or
just
anybody?
thank you. I mean, we just can't thank all of you enough.
Yeah.
It's just been a wonderful experience for us year after year, and we hope that it continues to grow.
And it will.
Yeah.
It will.
It's a
Thank
great
you.
partnership.
It is.
Right.
It is. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside City Hall. For more information on today's topics, visit our website and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay connected, stay informed, and stay tuned for the next Inside City Hall.